the screening of Young Soul Rebels, CUTV's Summer Boot Camp, and the 2110 Center's Wednesday film series through the month of August, right now on CUTV News. Welcome to CUTV News. This is Jonathan, and on today's show, we're going to speak with the organizers of CUTV's Summer Boot Camp. But first, CUTV was present at the screening of Young Soul Rebels. It's a film about youth cultural movements in the late 70s, and Anna from CUPRIG is happy to share some information about this film with you.
All right, so I'm speaking to Anna Mala, one of the organizers of CUPRIG Summer Screenings. Thank you so much for having this interview with us, Anna. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Perfect. So tell me briefly, what is the mandate of CUPRIG, first of all, CUPRIG McGill?
So CUPRIG McGill has existed since 1989, and it's an organization that seeks to link students up with their community through social justice and environmental justice initiatives. So it's everything from research to action-based initiatives. And so we organize events on campus around issues of social justice, and we have event series such as this film series that we're putting on right now, and we also help students to do research that's going to be able to be applicable to the community.
That is fantastic. Okay, so Anna, I understand that CUPRIG conducts research and on social and environmental issues, right? So in terms of actions, like what actions do you actually take? Like if you notice something off kilter in society, for example, something like discrimination taking place, what kind of actions do you guys actually do to combat that kind of an issue?
So basically we're like an umbrella organization, so we have many different groups under our general umbrella. So these groups all work on a variety of issues, and we basically are led by community initiatives. So for example, if there's something going on in a particular community in the city, CUPRIG kind of responds to that and tries to help mobilize people. So one example is the reasonable accommodations. When those hearings were going on, CUPRIG McGill was just one of the many groups that mobilized with immigrant communities to speak out against the racism that was going on. So that's one example, and sometimes during like the TA strike and this kind of thing, CUPRIG has played some role in mobilizing and helping organize students and other people in the community.
So you really get down and dirty with it then? When things are a little bit off kilter in society, right? You really send your people out there and try to combat those issues, like the example you just gave me. Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, moving on to your summer screenings, Anna, how do you make your selections, and like what criteria are you looking for when you decide what films to show?
Well, basically it's pretty open, and we put a call at the beginning of the summer to our working groups. So we have 20 different working groups this year, and they work on issues ranging from migrant justice to environmental issues to Indigenous solidarity and queer issues. So we sort of put a call out saying, are there any of the working groups that would like to help us brainstorm films or contribute their own film screening to the series? And then we try to look at issues that are kind of going on right at the moment. So for example, around the G20, we did a film screening that was sort of applicable to those issues. And then we also just try to think about what have we been talking about more or less lately. So, and because Perversité is coming up, which is the sort of alternative to Diversité, the mainstream gay pride festival in Montreal, we decided to organize a couple of queer films in the next few weeks.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so finally, Anna, what do you want people to get out of these screenings when they come and watch the films? What is your hope that they get? Like, what do you want them to get out of these films when they leave? When they leave the screening.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, a lot of it is about just getting people together and having a nice evening. Like a lot of us are doing some pretty serious community organizing and working on heavy issues a lot of the time, and sometimes it's nice to just have a fun social event. And then sometimes we do more serious films. So like 2 weeks ago we did the film on mining in India. So it's both to sort of try to reach out to people who might not necessarily want to go to a panel or some such thing, but would maybe learn something from a film and meet some people at the event. So it's part social and part trying to get people to think about issues they might not be thinking about.
Yeah, I think it's really important, the kind of work that CUPRIG McGill does, Anna, because I wouldn't be able to see a film like environmental issues in India, downtown cinema, Yeah. So it's kind of a big deal. Yeah. Thank you so much, Anna, for this little interview. I really appreciate it.
At CUTV, from the 2nd to the 13th of August, is where young aspiring filmmakers will have an opportunity to turn their visions into reality at CUTV's Summer Boot Camp. It's open to kids age 15 and over, and here we have some of the organizers that are speaking to us about it.
In order to have engaged youth, you have to start somewhere. So I think it's great for media just to make the kids become more comfortable with media, and through that, start to develop their confidence and media savviness as well. So when they're looking at media, whether it be corporate media or what have you, they have a level of critical thinking, and I mean, you get that through practical. When you take this boot camp, you actually will get these skills that allow you to understand how things are made, how media is made.
These types of outlets don't have corporate control and domination, so they aren't inspired by an ideology of ownership or profit making. So for that reason, they're more likely to give a voice to marginalized groups, and they're more likely to expose things that corporate media wouldn't necessarily expose because the agenda doesn't exist. But usually it's an agenda of empowerment, and youth are traditionally really unempowered. So I think it's really important that youth are involved and empowered through these kinds of places. Well, the Summer Video Boot Camp started in 2007, so this is our 4th year. It was started by then station manager Jason Gonziola and I, he is also my partner, and basically it came out of CUTV's community mandate. We thought if there's people who don't have access to this kind of equipment but who would totally love to use it is youth, and we based the structure of the boot camp on a video camp that I went to when I was a teenager, the Gulf Islands Film and Television School. And yeah, and so we got funding a little bit from CUTV and from the Dean of Students, and we developed the camp from there.
Every Wednesday through August at the 2110 Center for Gender Advocacy, you can watch and discuss films that deal with specific political, gender cultural issues. CUTV interviewed Bianca McGinney, staff at the center, to find out more info.
The 2110 Center for Gender Advocacy at Concordia University is holding a film series that runs from July 28th to August 25th. The series discusses varied gender oppression issues around the world. The first eye-opening film in the series was 0 Degrees of Separation, which documents queer struggles against Israeli occupation and apartheid by examining the complex relationship between two Palestinian-Israeli lovers and two nations, according to the 2110 Center publicity. CUTV interviewed Bianca McGinney, a staff member at the center, to learn about the summer night screenings and what they hope people will learn from the experience. Tell us, could you talk about the 2110 Center mission that's relating to Montreal?
Yeah, sure. The 2110 is an independent organization. It's located at Concordia University. And our mission and mandate basically are to promote gender equality and empowerment, especially as it relates to marginalized communities.
How did the 2110 Center organize this event?
Well, we've been trying to have an annual sort of like mini film festival at the center in the summertime. We feel like it's a really good time for people to relax and watch films that do have political content. We feel like at the heart of our mandate is popular education.
How does the movie 0 Degrees of Separation tie in with current events?
Well, I think it's a very timely film. It's a produced film directed by Al Flanders, who's a Canadian filmmaker, and the film is addressing an issue in Palestine and Israel, specifically the occupation. And we feel like it's really important for us here in Canada to be engaged in this issue because of the call for solidarity that has been put out.
Other films which will be screened include Miss for Profit about Canada's role in industries of war and peace, Jane, an abortion service about a feminist collective in late 60s Chicago aiding in safe but anonymous and illegal abortions, and Born in Flames, a sci-fi comedy about female rebellion that explores classism, sexism, racism, and heterosexism in an alternate political system of the United States. The series of films will be running from July 28th to August 25th at 2110 Mackay Street. For more information, check out their website at www.center2110.org. For CUTV News, this is Carl Summers.
Thanks for tuning in to CUTV News. If you have a community event that you'd like covered, let us know, and we'll see you next week.